Good morning, everyone. I would just like to begin this morning by asking you a couple of questions. Now, my first question to you is, what do you think about pastoral care, or what do you think pastoral care is? Well, to me, it's caring for God's people in a lay setting. Now, the word pastor is from the Latin word pastoral, which means shepherd. Pastoral ministry is a ministry of shepherding God's people. In the book of Acts, chapter 2, 42-47, we are first introduced to the beginnings of the first Christian pastoral care ministry. Here, the apostles began their ministry of caring for the new converts by meeting daily, praying together, sharing meals and possessions with their flock. And I'd like to read you that passage, and it's found in Acts chapter 2, verse 42-47. All the believers devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to the fellowship and to sharing in meals, including the Lord's Supper, and to prayer. A deep sense of awe came over them all, and the apostles performed many miraculous signs and wonders, and all the believers met together in one place and shared everything they had. They worshipped together at the temple each day, met in homes for the Lord's Supper, and shared their meals with great joy and generosity, all the while praising God and enjoying the goodwill of all people. And each day the Lord added to their fellowship those who were being saved. And I like that last part. Each day the Lord added to their fellowship those who were being saved. In other words, God is faithful to those who are willing to be used by him. My next question is, do we need a pastoral care program in our corps today? Thank you. After discussion and agreement with the Corps Pastoral Care Council, the answer, of course, is a resounding yes. Our corps is a growing corps. In the past couple of years, we've seen more and more people attending. But sadly, lately, we are losing some of them. How do we care for these people? How do we show God's love to them? And how do we keep them in the fold? And of course, our regular worshippers too. How do we meet their needs? Do we expect our corps officer to do this job alone? The reality is that it would be impossible for them to cope alone with a corps of our size. And of course, next year, we're going to lose Major Chris in her role as the corps officer, and we're going to only have a single officer, and it will be more difficult. We currently approximately have 119 families in our corps attendance database. Therefore, it's our responsibility to step up and take the burden off the officer's shoulder. Pastoral care goes beyond regular caregiving, as we as members often provide for one another. It's developing relationships and bonds with those we have in our core community. Pastoral care is showing God's love to those in our care. We are instruments of God. We are the human face of God's love. In other words, we are God's love with skin on. By introducing a pastoral care program into our corps, we are endeavouring to implement a culture of care, a culture that will in time become natural, so that each of us will look out for one another and be responsible as a united congregation to care for our core family. Now, I know that we've tried to introduce a pastoral care ministry into our fellowship before. Now, for whatever reason that programs did not continue, We feel at this moment God is calling us to begin again. This time we're beginning with a new approach. We're putting our emphasis on caring as Jesus would. The caring as his representatives of those of our family faith. We're looking at making our pastoral care program as simple as possible. Easy for the shepherd to handle, but effective enough to make a difference in the lives of those that they will be caring for. Our vision is simple. You will be assigned a shepherd who will come alongside you and your family and provide you with friendship, care in times of need, and to be in constant contact with you. We've chosen the shepherd's model, which we use in this acrament of the word peace. The shepherd will promise to uphold this peace. P, prays for each person in his care daily. E, gives encouragement, including spiritual encouragement. A, be available at all times. C, offer comfort and care. And of course, being a Christian example. The relationship between a shepherd and his flock will be one of confidentiality. Confidentiality is one of the most important things we need to keep in mind. All dealings will be confidential between the shepherd and his people. Now, I'd like to emphasise that the pastoral care program is not replacing the corps officer in his role as pastor of the flock. We are enhancing it. The corps officer will still be available to you in times of spiritual need, family crisis, etc. But one thing we are aiming to do is to keep the everyday caring for the flock as the responsibility of the corps. As we, under God's guidance, begin the exciting endeavour, may we indeed become a church that cares, a people that are God's love with skin on. May we develop as a corps with a reputation of a culture of care. I also would like to acknowledge the people who have accepted the challenge to take on the role as shepherds. Thank you. Without your love and concern and willingness to be used by God in this important ministry, we would not be able to proceed with the program. So I'd ask you all, members of our fellowship, to keep the pastoral care program in your prayers, asking God's blessing and guidance on those people who have accepted the invitation to minister in Jesus' name to you, who are part of our faith family. Thank you.